In this video, we're going to be talking about what the interface designer is and how we can use this and modify this to make our apps more user-friendly. Hello guys, this is Archie from the Information Lab, and in today's video, we're going to be talking a little bit about the interface designer. So in the previous video, we have just made this app and we are happy with the way it works. We've tested it using the magic wand icon, and this is what we can see. However, how can we change what the user interface basically? So that is where the interface designer comes in, and this is an integral part of making an app. So the way that we open it up, we go over to view and tick this box here, so where it says interface designer. So a window should pop up on the left hand side. However, if it seems to be ticked already and you can't find it, then it's usually hidden on the left hand side. So if you just drag that over, then that should work absolutely fine. Okay, so in the first, so there's 4 tabs that we can have a look at. The layout view, so this basically allows the user to change the order which the questions are prompted or asked. I should mention that the reason why they're in this order is because that's the order that we drag the interface tools onto the canvas. So the way that we do this is, say for example, we want to change the select and output to the very end or to the last question. Then we can drag this down accordingly just to the very bottom. It's quite a good idea to order them in a logical way, just because it makes it a little bit easier for the user to use. So let's say, okay, let's choose a currency code. Let's choose a day, and then we can choose a field just after that. Also, in this, we can see we can add new things. So we can group together different prompts or questions depending on what they are. And this is really useful in, for example, conditional routing, which we're going to cover in a future video. We can also add labels, which is basically like we can add a prompt or add extra explanation just to make it, just to really make sure that the user knows exactly what they're doing or how to answer a particular question. We can also add links, hyperlinks. So if you wanted to add more information, for example, or attach a website to it, then that is how you do that. And then finally, we can add tabs. So tabs basically, if you've got different section or categories, then you can add different tabs accordingly. So that is exactly how we do that. And we can delete whatever we want like this as well. So Alteryx should be deleting this. There we go. The next step is the test view. So this is pretty much exactly how the user is going to interact it, how it's going to see, and you can input this information yourself so you can see exactly what's happening. It also allows you to open Debug, which opens a different workflow. Okay, so the reason why that happened is because I didn't input any information. So let me just quickly do that. So let's input all of this information. So now we've got the input, we can fill the different questions, and then the output just there. And then we can open Debug. So what this is going to do, it opens a different workflow or a different window, and here we go, Debug number 2, and it basically says whether or not it will work. And we click run. And if it brings back an error, we can see exactly how our information inputted to it has affected the workflow. So this is a really good way of checking to see if it works and checking to see if there's any errors. So we can just close that off. No, thank you, I don't want to save. So, okay, brilliant. So now we've gone through this is a different app. So now we've gone through the first 2 views. So we've gone through the layout, we've gone through the test, and now the next one is basically, this window shows the relationships between each question and their action. So for example, if you were to click on the file browse, you can see how it affects the input data tool and also the error message. So this is how you can test different ones, have a look at different ones, and see the relationship between the 2. And you can also change them, right? You can move them up or down accordingly. Finally is the properties section. So this, you can make a little bit more complex apps, for example, so you can make chained apps. So if you were to tick this section here, it basically says if this workflow is run successfully, then run another workflow just after that. And we'll cover all of that in a different video. We can also say which output that that the user needs to see. So say if there was multiple, we can say, okay, well, we only want them to see output data 85, for example. We can also add more information here, so output message and no output files error message. And then we can finally add a graphic, so we can make it a little bit more personalized, depending on exactly what you want to do. So that's just a short video on the interface designer and how that works and how we can make apps more personalized and user-friendly by changing these settings.